We have breaking news out of the Chicago Blackhawks organization. They've dismissed head coach Joel Quennville and two of his assistants. We'll discuss this move as well as their replacements coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, we have some breaking news out of Chicago, and might I add some surprising news. I did not see this coming, at least not today. The Chicago Blackhawks have relieved head coach Joel Quennville of his duties, along with assistant coaches Kevin Dineen as well as Ulf Samuelsson. The Chicago Blackhawks got off to a pretty decent start this year. They have kind of since come back down to normal and kind of leveled out here, hovering around a .500 record right now. Their older core players got off to great starts, like Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane were certainly scoring at pretty good rates, so they had that going for them. They finally got Corey Crawford back, who missed the beginning of the season, but he's been back for some time now. And really, overall, I must say that the Chicago Blackhawks, even though they're not having an awesome season, you know, they're at least more respectable than I think a lot of people probably gave them credit for. I really thought there were some other coaches that were in much higher danger zone of being let go than Joel Quennville here. This certainly changes the whole coaching landscape, and with other teams looking at maybe making a change, and obviously changes things drastically in Chicago. He has been there for quite some time. Quennville's had a ton of success in Chicago. Obviously, as of late, things have not gone so well. During Joel Quennville's tenure with the Chicago Blackhawks, he has a record of 452 wins, 252 losses, and 96 overtime losses. So that's a very impressive record. It gives him a winning percentage of .627, which is also very impressive. And as we all know, we can all agree here, Joel Quennville has had some of the most success and will go down as one of the greatest all-time coaches in the NHL history here, regardless of what his future may hold. He's had a lot of success in Chicago as well as the prior teams that he's coached. He brought 3 Stanley Cups to the city of Chicago. They've had a ton of success ever since they started kind of drafting their newer core players like Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, etc. And Corey Crawford has been a big part of that as well. You know, they've had a ton of success. Now, obviously, as teams get older, things change. They've had some salary cap crunches. The teams had to have a lot of interchangeable parts as well due to cap constraints. So, you know, obviously not all teams can kind of go on being a top team here forever and ever. So even though Joel Quennville's had all that success in Chicago, the last little while hasn't gone so well. And at some point in time, every team kind of needs a new voice in the room, a new way of hearing things, new way of looking at things. Not only are the Chicago Blackhawks getting a new head coach as well as some new assistant coaches to go along with the coaching staff here, they're getting somebody who's incredibly new and really doesn't have a ton of coaching experience. They've hired Jeremy Colliton as their head coach, who was currently the head coach of their AHL affiliate in Rockford. He's only been hired there since May of 2017. That is his only head coaching position in North America. Prior to that, he did coach for 4 seasons in the SHL. Colliton was originally a player who was drafted by the New York Islanders organization back in 2003. Never really made it in the NHL, spent about 5 or 6 seasons playing in the American Hockey League, and eventually went over to Sweden when playing in the SHL. But during his 1 season over there, he ended up suffering a concussion and ultimately decided to hang him up and call it a career, but was able to get into coaching while over there as well. And he's been coaching over there for 4 seasons before returning back to North America to take the head coaching job with Rockford in the American Hockey League. Obviously, the Chicago Blackhawks have been very impressed with Colliton in the American Hockey League in his brief tenure down there to dismiss a Hall of Fame coach in Joel Quennville and to give him this opportunity. Now, he's only 33 years old, so it certainly will be interesting to see how the Hawks respond to this. I mean, obviously, many of these guys have been with Coach Quennville here for a long time, so it's certainly going to be quite a different change of pace here to have a different voice leading the team, a different voice in the room and giving direction here. So we'll see what can happen, if this can spark the club to kind of get some improvements here. Like I said, they got off to a really solid start and then kind of tailed off. Now, I wouldn't put all the blame here on the team's lack of success recently on Joel Quennville, but like I said, I really think the main reason here is just over time, you sometimes just need a different voice to kind of lead that room. General Manager Stan Bowman also really, in my opinion, needs to be part of the blame here for the lack of success recently in Chicago, but it's almost like they're a victim of their own success. When you see teams go through long stretches of having a high amount of success and winning Stanley Cups, that quite often comes with a salary cap crunch afterwards. I mean, they end up with younger players that are really stepping up, getting big time raises and contracts after. You have to pay some of them, trade some of them away, have interchangeable parts. I mean, it just really boils down to how that is managed. and the Chicago Blackhawks did a pretty good job really for a long stretch, winning those 3 Stanley Cups over a 6-year period. Unfortunately, right now, we're at a point with the Chicago Blackhawks where a lot of these veteran guys really are almost impossible to trade, and shaking up that roster too badly is really a really daunting task. So as I mentioned, I am a little bit surprised on this news, not so much that it happened during this season. I did suspect that Chicago, as I mentioned in other videos, should they not have a lot of success this year, very well could be going down the route of a coaching change. I just really thought after having a decent start that they might kind of wait and see how things go a little bit longer before going down that road. And I am really surprised at the replacement for Joel Quennville. I mean, you're going from a Hall of Fame coach to a 33-year-old new guy, the first-time head coach in the NHL with very limited AHL coaching experience as well. So certainly a bit of a surprise there in the Chicago Blackhawks organization. But I'd love to hear what you think down below. Leave your comments, let me know what you think of this change, and we can continue the conversation in the comment section. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.